2020 was a weird year for us all, and the NFL was no exception, as Roger Goodell announced draft picks from his recliner in some basement somewhere. Now, if we could go back that year and do things differently, most of us probably would. And we're going to do that today via a 2020 NFL redraft, and we're going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's basically rinse and repeat here. We're going to take Joe Burrow. He led them to a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl win, but a Super Bowl in year 2. I know he's beat up this past season, but we've seen the high-end play. He is easily a top 5 quarterback currently in the NFL. And number 2, we have the Washington, were they the football team at this point? I don't know. I don't really care. But we're going to go quarterback because this team currently at quarterback has Dwayne Haskins, RIP, and Kyle Allen. So let's take advantage of actually how good this quarterback class is. And actually, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert's kind of a coin toss because the quarterbacks in this class are pretty darn good, but I feel like Justin Herbert, pretty safe option here. Detroit Lions, we're not going quarterback. We're not. They actually still have Matthew Stafford still at this point. And maybe if you could get him some receiving talent, he'll decide to stay. Well, fortunately in this class, there is a Justin Jefferson. Let's get freaking Matthew Stafford a Jetta. I'm going to grab him there. New York Football Giants. They got Daniel Jones. We don't know. Maybe if you surround him with more talent, things could work out there. But let's be honest, Joe Judge is currently the head coach, so feels kind of damning at this point. But I think we're gonna stick with their original pick because honestly, it's worked out pretty well for him in Andrew Thomas. Big Andrew Thomas fan. I think he was my tackle 1 going into this class. Very close to Tristan Wirfs, though, and we'll see him come off the board relatively soon. All right, we're at my Miami Dolphins. If you didn't know, I'm a Dolphins fan. Fins up. And I'm not going to go with Tua. Instead, I'm going to shoot for the upside. Like, honestly, Tua's not a bad choice here. But Jordan Love had some very good tools entering this class, and I think those are tools worth developing considering what we saw during the second half stretch we saw this past season with the Packers. And he doesn't have to start early. Keep Ryan Fitzmagic there. Have him start the whole season. I mean, the Dolphins, we also have 2 other first-round picks here. So we could maybe see if we could surround them with some talent. So I'm going to take Jordan Love here. And we're not done with quarterbacks. Not by a long shot because we still got 2 pretty darn good ones on the board. Here for the Chargers, they currently have Tyrod Taylor, and honestly, if they could stick with him if they don't want to start Jalen Hurts early. So, yeah, I mean, the offensive line still has to get significantly better, which it does in the next year. So, yeah, let's grab Jalen Hurts, which leaves us with the Carolina Panthers, who at this point have Joe Brady as OC. I believe in Joe Brady. Big Joe Brady guy here. And they have DJ Moore. They got CMC. Yo, Tua's worth taking in the top 10. And when you have that much talent around him, yeah, the offensive line could use a little work at this point, but it wasn't far off. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and snag Tua, and officially now all the quarterbacks are off the board. And let's be honest, guys, quarterback value is kind of that key. So it turns out that 5 of the top 7 picks are quarterbacks. This actually ended up being a pretty darn quarterback class. Arizona Cardinals, they got pick 8 here, and this might be strange, but I don't think it is. So their interior talent there on the offensive line definitely could use some work. You got Kyler Murray as your quarterback, so you're probably going to be looking for someone that Kyler Murray could look over. Luckily, one of the best guards / tackles in this class is Michael Onwenu out of Michigan. I was a big fan of his going into this class. We snag him here. He has that tackle flexibility, but he'd start early here at guard. And sneakily, the Cardinals actually had a lot of talent on this squad. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season, well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only 30 bucks by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. Pick 9, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. No Trevor Lawrence yet. He will be with this squad perhaps in a year, but I like Uncle Rico, and let's at least give him a chance. Let's give him a fighting chance. We're going to go ahead and snag him some receiving talent with CeeDee Lamb, who has just been flipping wonderful. Cleveland Browns, and this is actually where the first defensive player is going to come off the board, because I'm a huge Jalen Johnson fan. I was at the time. I still am. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. Can you imagine pairing him up with Denzel Ward? Golly, that would be a nightmare for most offenses. The New York Jets. Oh, I think this is now where we're going to take Tristan Wirfs. They initially took Mekhi Becton here. I think they went with the right idea, trying to get a tackle, because currently at right tackle, they got Chuma Adoga. So we could definitely upgrade that. And I mean, it's probably not enough to save Sam Darnold, but we could at least try. Las Vegas Raiders, they actually have pick 19 also in this draft. Let's try to get someone who, I don't know, doesn't end up in jail. That seems to be a trend for these past Raiders picks. So we're going to go ahead with the guy who just got paid a lot of money, though it hasn't been, his contract details haven't been released, but I imagine it's going to be a lot of money. We're going to get more help at corner because currently they have Eli Ricks and Trayvon Mullins. That's not scaring nobody. So I'm going to snag L'Jarius Sneed here for the Raiders. San Francisco 49ers, they also have 2 picks in this draft. And I'm going to be honest, Brandon Ayuk's not going to make it to 31, so we're going to snag up here. He has been wonderful. I mean, wonderful for the 49ers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have Tom Brady, so they're currently just trying to add immediate impact starters. And they did a good job of it with this draft, where they took Tristan Wirfs. In the second round, they took Antoine Winfield. Unfortunately, Wirfs is not here, and Winfield won't make it much longer. So let's go ahead, snag him here. He's arguably one of, if not the best safety in the NFL currently. Denver Broncos. Offensively, this Broncos team is in the crapper, but there really isn't a pick here, I think, that can save them offensively. So I'm just going to get them some cornerback help, and I feel like A.J. Terrell would be a really good fit for Ed Donatell's scheme. That's who was the DC at the time. Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, it feels like this pass rush has been terrible for so long, and there's not too many great pass rushers in this class, but I think there's a really, really good one in Alex Highsmith out of Charlotte, of all places. He has actually led this class in pressures and sacks since entering the NFL. But before we get to pick 17, gotta give a shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Thank you for being the sponsor of today's video. When you sign up using promo code BROSCHMO at Underdog Fantasy, they will double your first deposit up to $100 dues. Currently, the big tourney is going on. So, hey, get in on the action. But when you sign up, remember, use promo code BROSCHMO, and they will match that first deposit up to $100 dues. But please, bet responsibly, bet within your means. Dallas Cowboys, pick 17, no CeeDee Lamb. That would have been fun, but hey, apparently we can have fun. Dallas actually had a reasonably good draft, as they got Trevon Diggs, I think, in the second round of this class. But we're actually just going to go with defensive interior. Dallas is missing talent at this time on the defense. but I think having an uber athletic gap shooter, that would definitely help out. So I'm actually going to take Justin Matabuke. Might take a couple of years for him to develop, but we saw what that could become this past season. My Miami Dolphins were back here on the clock. I've been screaming to get offensive line help for like 5 years now. So we're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab Jedrick Wills, come in there and help us at tackle. Currently, the Dolphins tackle at this point was Julian Davenport and Jesse Davis. Yeah, we kind of sucked. Okay, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. This is pick 19, their second pick. Our first pick for them was L'Jarius Sneed. We're actually going to take T. Higgins at this point. It was really close between him and Michael Pittman, and honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with either or option. But yeah, we're going to match Higgins with Zay Jones and Hunter Renfrow, who were the receivers there at the time. Give Derek Carr a little bit of help. Jacksonville Jaguars, we took CeeDee Lamb with pick 9, and here with pick 20, I'm going to give Uncle Rico some more help. We're going to give him some guard help, actually. And I'm going to take Robert Hunt. He's going to immediately replace AJ Cann there at right guard. I mean, Robert Hunt just got paid bank this past offseason. Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, unfortunately, you are not going to get your franchise quarterback in this draft. It is what it is, but at the very least, we can replace a terrible Jalen Mills. And we're going to do that with Xavier McKinney. There we go. I almost said Xavier Worthy. Sorry. Wrong draft. Okay, Minnesota. This is their first pick, unfortunately. No Justin Jefferson. Kind of is what it is. Let's see what we can do for him. I'm actually going to go with Derek Brown. Get them some bodies there on the interior. Derek Brown's been very solid for the Panthers. I think pairing him up with Michael Pierce. Hopefully Pierce can stay healthy. That was kind of the problem with him the past couple of years. And actually, we saw what he could do with a fully healthy year this past season with Baltimore. But I think he would be a pretty darn good upgrade. And not to mention, you have Danielle Hunter there on the outside. New England Patriots pick 23. And this team was going into the season with Jarrett Stidham. So Broncos fans, don't do that. But they were going into the season with Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer battling out as their starter. Unfortunately, there isn't a quarterback here available. But with how good the offensive line is currently, I think you could probably protect your quarterback by having a really good run game. And I'm actually going to go with the running back. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor, who has been phenomenal when healthy. Now all his contract stuff's worked out. That's great. Yay, New Orleans Saints. I think they made a mistake by taking Cesar Ruiz. I think he has been mid at best. So I'm going to go ahead and do what they should have done, and that's keep the Louisiana boy in Louisiana. I'm going to grab Patrick Queen out of LSU. He has developed into a very, very good linebacker the last couple of seasons. And he gets to learn from Demario Davis. There we go. Back here with the Minnesota Vikings, we took Derek Brown, and I kind of figured that the Saints and the Patriots wouldn't take wide receivers. So I was like, okay, I figured Derek Brown could go to like the Patriots or the Saints. So that's why I took him there. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take a wide receiver. I'm going to take Michael Pittman Jr. Real quick, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Baroshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. My Miami Dolphins. So I grabbed Jordan Love. I grabbed Jedrick Wills. I think I'm going to move to the defense. Now, the Dolphins, I mean, we have 3 first-round picks, so getting valuable, like just taking shots on valuable positions is super key. And currently, Byron Jones is playing opposite of Xavier Howard. Jones never really works out for the Dolphins, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and take that shot on Trevon Diggs. Seattle Seahawks. The pass rush is currently dead in Seattle. I think, what is it? Bruce Irvin's probably the only productive edge player they had on the roster at this point. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to grab another guy who just got paid this offseason, and Jonathan Grenard out of Florida. Ended up having a really good year for Houston the last couple of seasons. Baltimore Ravens, kind of sucks. We miss out on Patrick Queen, but I think there's another good linebacker in this class in Logan Wilson. He's been very solid there for the Bengals, and he's really developed into a very complete linebacker. Tennessee Titans. This one was kind of tough. Ultimately, I settled on going with an edge player because Harold Landry is kind of all they have, and he's really just an edge too. I mean, he can do it all, but in terms of like bringing that pass rush, you could definitely try to find better players. And Bryce Huff has been electric the last 2 seasons, and that's just been in a DPR role. And honestly, if that's all he is, I'm fine with that. He brings the pressure. So we're going to go ahead and take Bryce Huff, another guy who got paid going to the Eagles this past offseason. Where the heck is Bryce Huff? There he is. Green Bay Packers, pick 30. And I'm keeping... Like, Chase Young's tough to take in a redraft. Just because of... We've seen the tools at play, but he's been relatively unhealthy, so it's tough to justify. Like, we know the talent's there with him. It just hasn't worked out thus far. So it's hard to take him in a mock draft, or a redraft, I should say. But at the end of the day, like, the Packers, they love their RAS guys. If you don't know what that is, relative athletic score. They love guys that are really, really good athletes. And I'm not taking Chase Young in this, actually. I'm going to go with Kyle Duggar, dude. And he would do really well there, splitting time between box and slot. Just to kind of add to that secondary. Okay, got the San Francisco 49ers. And, man, we got Brandon Ayuk. That's great. We're actually going to stick with the offense because currently Tom Compton is their right guard. And I really think that Kevin Dotson, who just got paid this offseason, would be a really good addition to a wide zone blocking scheme. And even now, where Shanahan's using more power concepts, I think he matches that. I'm going to go ahead and snag him right here. And then for the final pick in this redraft, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, it won't be for another year that they get Creed Humphrey. So honestly, I'm just kind of grabbing the best players on the board. And I'm a big fan of Lloyd Cushenberry. I really am. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab our center now. Because who knows, man? Maybe in a 2021 redraft, Kansas City won't be in position to get Creed Humphrey. Actually, they probably won't be. So I'm going to snag him here. It's going to be the last pick of our redraft. So, hey, let me know what you think in the comment section below. How do you think I did? How do you think I did? I think I did all right. I think I did well enough. But you tell me if you want more draft content. I just released my top tight ends in this class, or you can check out my top defensive players. You can check those out down there. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.